So here's the irony. The computational design should be about everything except design, if you ask me. The goal isn't to make algorithms that design for us. It's to free ourselves from the computer so that we can design. The goal is to free ourselves from the computer by using the computer. And here's how. The term computational design is not something I always liked, exactly because of that reason. So I come from mostly from the fabrication world. If you don't know me, I worked on a lot of large-scale projects, airports, the Las Vegas Sphere and we create a lot of automated fabrication plans and so on for large facades and different kind of structures. And for me, when you talk about design, you're talking about a very small percentage of architecture, right? In my mind, that's like 10% of the whole thing. So cramming all the computational tools and parametric tools into this design phase is something for me that doesn't make much sense because I feel that that's something that should be one of the rare things that should be left to human, because that is not repetitive and that is not boring, and almost everything else is. So what we're trying to do is automate that. Just to linger on the term a little bit, so in the 20 years of being a computational designer, I don't think I ever actually designed with code. We use some optimization and so on that help us with design, but I wouldn't call that computational design necessarily. 99% of our work is automation of boring, repetitive stuff, error-prone stuff, error checking, and so on and so on. So what's the goal, if you ask me? The goal is to have more time with the pencil and less time with the mouse. Weird, coming from someone who's programming for a living and writing software, but I think that's the goal for architects. Now, I will repeat that computation for me is automation, right? We can automatically generate BIM models, twins, we can generate documentation, schedules, and then we go on to generate fabrication files. So it all comes down to how to automatically create 3D models until the very nut and bolt and prepare them for production. Later on, prepare them for robotic assembly and so on, and automate that whole process. So for me, the true mission is basically write algorithms so you can stop working like a machine, not use the machine to help you in the design. For me, this human element is very important, because design is not really geometry, right? It's judgment, it's narrative, it's ethics, it's taste, it's culture, and I think that's what humans are uniquely good at. So, and the computer should take care of how we translate that design into something that's buildable and automate that whole process so that it frees up time that we can focus on the why. That's for me the essence of design. That is why. Why is something the way you made it? So in my point of view, automation is not replacing design. It's basically protecting it. And I feel there is some kind of opposition, almost defensiveness that comes from traditional architects, let's call them like that. But I think traditional architects should love computational design. If you are an architect, maybe older generation of newer generation that likes to use a pencil or doesn't like to draw in the computer or even 3D model or whatever, I think you should love computational design. I think you should let people help you, because that's what computational design is there for, to automate everything after you figure out that idea. You know, classical architects feel fear of losing touch with the craft, but I feel that automation gives you time, brings that craft back. So you automate in order to push more of what the human should push into the design. Now, so we basically make space or time, let's say figuratively, for this phase of intuition, exploration, this real creativity. So, and I think that old-fashioned architects really shouldn't resist computational tools, and they should just embrace them with all their might. So for me, the next wave of computational design, if you want to call it that, is not about really replacing designers. I have to say, I started also like that, right? I was also attracted 20 years ago, but cool looking videos. I mean, I was one of the pioneers, so there were not so many videos then that they came with the grasshopper and so on. And even today, a lot of people are drawn to this, some kind of optimization videos, or you moving up sliders and looking at your design change. But from my experience in practice, the architect really knows what they want. These computational design tools are presented as if you don't know what you want, so we will help you. And that works in a couple of domains. There are so-called search spaces where the possibilities are too large and you really don't know where to start. And a couple of these design tools are maybe helping you generate randomly or with some limitations or with some objectives, a couple of solutions that help you then direct you in different directions. But I think that's a very, very, very small percentage even of the design phase. And I don't think we should put so much emphasis on it. When it comes to computation, we can let the machines and the computer and the software that you write take care of coordination, fabrication, data, schedules. I mean, who loves all those kilometer-long Excel tables and reports and I don't know what, and documentation, even plans, a lot of manual dimensioning and so on. All that is supposed to be automated by these computational tools. So for me, that's the true computational revolution, in realizing that we have been dealing with these computational design tools too long, concentrating on the design. Leave the design to humans. Leave the design. Let them take their pen and paper. If I designed a house tomorrow, I would start with pen and paper. I wouldn't open Grasshopper. I wouldn't open Rhino. Only once I figured out approximately the idea that I want to make, I would start creating algorithms that automate the creation of that model, fabrication data, and so on. So I think my message is clear. And in this video, I just wanted to address something that's been on my mind for a while, that computational design is not about design. So we don't write algorithms to make computer design for us or even with us. That's a very small percentage. We write them so that we can spend more time designing. And for me, computational design basically isn't about giving creativity to the computer. It's about taking it back. I think I will talk about this in the future because it's an important point and because I see a lot of computational design content, let's say, on the internet is making this notion foggy. But you should understand that design is a very small percentage in the whole phase of the building process, and that when it comes to true creativity, I, as a professional computational designer, think that should be left to humans. Stay free. Subscribe if you like this kind of content. Of course, you can follow us on LinkedIn and other social media. And I'll talk to you soon.